The iPhone has changed many times since it first launched, but most upgrades have followed a familiar pattern: a better camera, a faster processor, a brighter display, longer battery life. Every year, Apple refined the formula without fundamentally changing what an iPhone is. But today, the company is betting on something much bigger than another hardware upgrade. Apple believes artificial intelligence could become the next defining feature of the iPhone, and it may be the biggest gamble in the product's history. If it works, the iPhone could evolve into a far more intelligent personal assistant. If it doesn't, Apple risks falling behind in one of the fastest-moving technology races the industry has ever seen. For years, Apple took a cautious approach to AI while competitors aggressively launched chatbots, image generators, and AI assistants. Some critics argued that Apple was moving too slowly, especially as companies like Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI captured much of the attention surrounding generative AI. But Apple wasn't standing still. Instead of rushing unfinished products to market, the company spent years developing what it calls Apple Intelligence, a collection of AI features designed to work across the iPhone, iPad, and Mac while emphasizing privacy and on-device processing. That strategy represents a major shift for Apple. Rather than treating AI as a separate app, Apple wants intelligence to become part of nearly every experience on the iPhone. Whether you're writing an email, editing a photo, organizing notifications, summarizing text, or searching for information, AI is gradually becoming part of the operating system itself. That's a very different vision from simply adding another chatbot. Apple's biggest advantage has always been the tight integration between its hardware and software. Unlike many competitors, Apple designs its own processors, builds its own operating system, and controls the entire user experience. Now it's using that same approach to AI. The latest Apple silicon chips include increasingly powerful neural engines that allow many AI tasks to run directly on the device instead of relying entirely on cloud servers. This matters for two important reasons. First, on-device processing can make AI faster because information doesn't always need to travel across the internet before generating a response. Second, it supports Apple's long-standing focus on privacy by keeping more personal data on the user's device whenever possible. In an era where people are becoming increasingly concerned about how their information is used, Apple sees privacy as one of its biggest competitive advantages. But building AI around privacy also creates challenges. Large AI models require enormous computing power. Running them entirely on a smartphone isn't practical for every task. That's why Apple developed a hybrid approach. Some requests are handled directly on the iPhone, while more demanding tasks can securely use Apple's private cloud compute system. For certain requests, users can also choose to access external AI services, giving them additional flexibility while maintaining transparency about where their information is being processed. This balance between local processing and cloud computing may become one of the defining characteristics of Apple's AI strategy. The company also knows that hardware sales depend on giving consumers compelling reasons to upgrade. For years, many people kept their phones longer because annual improvements became increasingly incremental. Artificial intelligence changes that equation. If newer iPhones deliver AI features that older devices simply cannot support because of hardware limitations, consumers may once again see a stronger reason to upgrade. That could become an important driver of future iPhone sales. Developers are paying close attention as well. As Apple expands its AI tools, software companies can begin building applications that take advantage of system-wide intelligence rather than creating everything from scratch. That opens the door to smarter productivity apps, better accessibility features, more natural voice interactions, and increasingly personalized experiences across the Apple ecosystem. Competition, however, remains intense. Google continues expanding Gemini across Android devices. Samsung is integrating AI into many of its flagship smartphones. Microsoft is bringing AI deeper into Windows, while OpenAI continues advancing conversational AI capabilities at a remarkable pace. Every major technology company understands that AI could reshape how people interact with their devices. Apple cannot afford to miss this transition. At the same time, expectations for Apple are unusually high. The company has built its reputation on delivering polished experiences that work reliably for millions of users. Consumers don't simply expect new features, they expect those features to feel seamless. That means Apple faces pressure not just to introduce AI, but to make it genuinely useful in everyday life. If users find themselves saving time, writing faster, organizing information more efficiently, and interacting naturally with their phones, Apple's strategy could prove highly successful. If the experience feels inconsistent or confusing, adoption may take longer than expected. Another important part of Apple's gamble involves Siri. For years, Siri helped introduce voice assistants to mainstream consumers, but competitors gradually surpassed it in conversational ability. Apple is now working to make Siri far more capable by giving it greater contextual understanding and deeper integration across apps and system functions. A more intelligent Siri could eventually become one of the most significant changes to the iPhone experience in years. Imagine asking your phone to summarize yesterday's meeting, find the email discussing your upcoming trip, send a message updating your family, and create a reminder to leave early because of traffic, all through one natural conversation. That's the future Apple is trying to build. Of course, there are still challenges ahead. AI continues evolving at an extraordinary pace. Consumer expectations change quickly, and companies must continuously improve their models to remain competitive. Apple also faces the challenge of expanding AI features globally while meeting different regulatory requirements and supporting multiple languages and regions. Success will depend not only on technology, but also on execution. Perhaps the biggest surprise is that Apple's AI strategy isn't really about artificial intelligence alone. It's about redefining what the iPhone becomes over the next decade. Instead of functioning primarily as a collection of apps, the iPhone could gradually transform into an intelligent assistant that understands context, anticipates needs, and helps users complete tasks with far less effort. That would represent one of the biggest shifts since the smartphone itself became mainstream. Whether Apple's approach ultimately becomes the industry standard remains uncertain. The competition is moving incredibly fast, and every major technology company is investing billions into AI research and infrastructure. But one thing is already clear: Apple isn't treating AI as another annual feature update. It's betting that intelligence will become the foundation of the next generation of personal computing. That's why Apple's biggest AI gamble could redefine the iPhone, not because it changes how the device looks, but because it changes how people interact with it every single day. And if Apple succeeds, future iPhone upgrades may no longer be judged by camera improvements or processor speeds alone. They may be judged by one simple question: just how intelligent has the iPhone become?